Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for this Monday, February 5th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. By the time that you guys watch this, it would have happened. Mercury has moved into Aquarius and will conjunct Pluto. This will be the first of three major conjunctions to Pluto that we're going to experience this month. The first, of course, which is Mercury. Then we're going to see Mars. Then we're going to see Venus. And today is what I consider to be one of the more powerful days of the month. So let's go ahead and hop into these astrological transits so we can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. We have on this 5th here that moon enters into Aquarius, Mercury enters into Aquarius, which will conjunct Pluto, and the sun will, of course, sextile over to Chiron, as well as Venus squaring over to Chiron. And we are getting closer and closer to this balsamic phase of the moon, which the moon, of course, will enter that phase on Wednesday, leading up, of course, to the new moon that will happen later in the week on Friday the 9th. But like I said, today I highlighted it as red, mainly because it is that first pass, like I said, of Mercury on Pluto in Aquarius. All right. So, as you can see here, except by the time that you guys watch this, Mercury will have conjuncted Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And this is the first time in all of our lives that Mercury conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius. Because we have to remember, last year, when it conjuncted Pluto, it was in Capricorn. Pluto hadn't ingressed into Aquarius just yet. Same with the sun. Mars was all the way over in Gemini, and Venus was in Pisces. So, we have not experienced this energy before, unless, like I said, you lived over 200 years ago. Maybe we have like some memory from past lives from this, but as far as this particular incarnation, this particular consciousness, we have not experienced this. Now, of course, Mercury being the planet of communication and all that sort of stuff, this is the messenger. But with it being an Aquarius with Pluto here, these are going to be deeper messages that are going to be coming from spirits that are going to have higher cosmic proportions to them. And since Mercury does rule the mind and everything like that, and in many ways is our thoughts, with it coming over Pluto in this spot, this definitely can be one of those 0 point moments, since this is at 0 degrees. This is definitely like a 0 point moment where suppressed thoughts, suppressed ideals, suppressed things are going to be coming up because that Pluto has moved into Aquarius and Mercury is now here. It's going to be quite the powerful conjunction. And the thing about this is that it is one of the personal planets with Mercury. We are getting personal planets that are going to be coming over Pluto. So this is the first wave of the Pluto in Aquarius energy coming into our consciousness more. Now, the sun in Pluto conjuncted at 29:59 Capricorn. So it wasn't in Aquarius just yet. In fact, when the sun moved into Aquarius, it wasn't for another 11 to 12 hours when Pluto came into Aquarius. So they didn't conjunct in Aquarius. If there's an astrologer out there that has said that the sun and Pluto conjuncted in Aquarius, they are wrong. It happened right at the razor edge of Capricorn. You can't get any closer than that. But it did not happen in Aquarius. Going down to the exact moment, okay? And that's important because the sun reveals what is, in the dark. It reveals through its light what is hidden in the dark. And because the sun hasn't crossed over, since the sun didn't conjunct Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, transformation, transfiguration, the phoenix rising, because the sun did not conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. We are still, in many ways, in the dark about what Pluto in Aquarius is going to be about. The first planet outside of the moon, of course, because the moon has conjuncted Pluto when it was in Aquarius. That has happened. But the first planet that will make this conjunction to Pluto is Mercury, the mind. So now that we're stepping into this Aquarius energy like I said, and we're going to have Pluto in Aquarius for 20 years. Now that we are stepping into this energy, and it is going to be our mind that gets the first upload, if you will, or the first download. But it's going to get the first pass over Pluto in this space. That means that our minds are going to be activated in many ways, in a way that has never been activated before in Aquarius, coming over Pluto. Now, of course, Pluto's energy is a little bit more subtle generally, but when a personal planet crosses over Pluto, it comes more into our conscious awareness. So with Mercury here, this is going to, of course, concern the messages that we are receiving from Spirit, the messages that we're receiving from Source. We have to ask ourselves, the thoughts that we have coming through, are they ours? And of course, Mercury in Aquarius with the Pluto here, which is all about power and what I'm getting the feeling of control, is that I would not be surprised if some sort of insane story comes out today in an attempt to control the narrative and to get people to think on a hive mind. Because while Aquarius does rule the rebel and being outside the box and going to the beat of your own drum, while it does rule that, the dark side of Aquarius is a sort of hive mind where everybody is thinking the same. It's like the little green men in Toy Story. It's the unimind. So I would not be surprised if some type of news, and Mercury is the news. Mercury, like I said, Mercury likes to move fast. It likes to get the scoop and likes to get it out and then move on to the next thing. And it's in an air sign too. So this is going to be a broadcasting kind of energy because it's Aquarius, right? It's going to be more of a broadcasting kind of energy. So look at the glyph of Uranus. To me, that looks like a tower, and these are like the waves coming out of that tower, like a broadcast or something like that. So I would not be surprised if today there is some type of news that's going to be broadcasted that's going to attempt to get everybody on the same page from a mental standpoint about something. I don't know what exactly it'll be, but it'll be about something, right? Now, more than likely, what that something is going to be about is probably going to concern the sun in Aquarius sextiling Chiron and Venus in Capricorn squaring Chiron. Of course, the sun sextiling Chiron opens up opportunities here. It's the sun in Pisces now that it's over halfway through. Of course, this is a time, generally, I feel like when the sun is in Pisces, this is a time to generally rest and recuperate and to kind of recover all of the things that we went through up to this point, right? It's not quite in Pisces yet. It's still in Aquarius, but it's like we're recovering a lot of this energy. We're covering all of this. I just said Pisces, didn't I? Jesus. I meant to say Aquarius. But I'm just saying, right now, you can see the sun has gone through 10 of the signs. So we're on the 11th sign. It's halfway through Aquarius. We have about 44 degrees until the new year, the true new year. Now that the sun is over the hump in Aquarius, it's wanting to open up more of this information. And this is definitely going to be more spiritual in nature, considering the degrees, 16 degrees, right? 1 + 6 is 7. So how can our hearts, one, open up 6, Venus, to spirit more? Total of 7. And of course, like I said, we have Venus here, which is going to be squaring over to Chiron, which is wanting us to open up in another kind of way. How can we receive and integrate these higher cosmic principles that the sun is trying to bring to us? How can we implement these higher cosmic principles into our world more? But Chiron, of course, is the splinter here. It is the key. The glyph is the key. So there's a doorway that needs to be opened up. And yes, this is the wounded healer, of course. That's what we call it in astrology. So in many ways, we kind of have to walk through the pain of our own experience to implement and understand these higher cosmic principles and to receive and integrate them into this reality. But you have to go, there's no going around it. There's no avoiding it. You have to go through the pain. You have to go through the anguish. You have to go through the tough times in order to get to where you need to go. No plant is able to grow without soil on top of it, that it must find a way through that soil as it turns into a little sapling. But like I said, there's always going to be a perceived obstacle in the way. So we have to be able to go through those moments in order to reach the sunlight and reach the surface and to experience the breakthrough, if you will. That's where we are with this energy. But are you going to avoid the Chiron? Are you going to avoid the pain? And we have been taught, we have been conditioned to avoid pain, to avoid suffering, and to eliminate as much as possible hardship. But hardship cannot be completely eliminated. There is an aspect where we all crave some type of security, but is this craving of security, is it natural or is it overactive? I feel that the crave for security right now in the world, especially the Western world, the crave for security and comfort and guarantees has become radioactive. Aquarius rules radioactivity as well, especially the sun here. It's radioactive, which means that there's a lot of power here. You would think that the sun in Aquarius doesn't have a lot of power because it's in detriment. Quite the opposite. It's almost overly electrified. So it's almost like the vessel itself can't really contain the power and it almost takes over the vessel. So that's one thing that you guys don't know about Aquarians is not so much that they don't have the power that Leo has. It's just that their vessel, it's hard for them to contain all of that cosmic energy. Thus, they come across as weird, austere, and they have to, in many ways, ghost people. They have to detach emotionally because if they were to attach, it would be a lot for them. It would be a lot for them. It's one of the, I'm giving you guys a secret of Aquarius energy, is that it's electrical and it's radioactive. There's a lot of power with the sun in Aquarius. And with this sextile over to Chiron, yeah, it does open up the opportunity for us to recognize, the woundings and the traumas, stuff like that, maybe the fears that we may have, and how we can overcome them and realize that we don't have to overly identify with those because we can become something more. We can be something more. We can manifest something more. Of course, manifestation. I've learned here recently, a lot of times we like to associate manifestation with Venus and Jupiter, the benefics. And really, it's the malefics. It's Mars and Saturn. And I didn't realize this until I heard the Leo King say it. And when he said it, it just made sense. It inherently made sense. Why would we manifest using Venus when Venus is all about how we receive? Or Jupiter, which is how we expand on what already is and what's here. No, true manifestation comes through Mars, actually getting down and doing the work, or through Saturn, going through the tough transits, going through the tough times, digging through the dirt. That's how you actually manifest. So, with all these energies in Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and we still have a little bit of energy in Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, this is definitely a time where we have to dig deeper more than ever to find our resolve and to move forward, because you're going to be projected upon. You're going to be told what you should do, what you should be, how you should think. You're going to be influenced. You're going to be, like I said, projected upon. There are going to be people, there are going to be agents of the matrix coming for you in different ways through people. You're going to see people starting to drop off more than ever like flies, the spiritual path. Why? Because it is hard as fuck. No one said this shit was easy. One thing that I have learned doing these daily astrology forecasts for almost a year now, coming up, it started back in May of last year. Now we're in February. May will be here before I know it. I think I might have missed one weekly, or I think I might have missed like 1, maybe 2 weekend astrology forecasts. Other than that, I haven't stopped. One thing that it has taught me is that this shit is not fucking easy. It also has strengthened my abilities as an astrologer to recognize the inherent beauty in every single day transits. I no longer look at days as the same. I no longer see a day and be like, oh, it's the same as yesterday or the day before. But so many people are reliving the same day over and over and over again, unbeknownst to them that every day is a gift and every day is unique. And that's what makes us beautiful. That's what makes your birthday so damn special, because it was unlike the day before and the day before that and the day after that. And even the smallest minute details that shift from day to day make a world of difference. So today is not like yesterday or the day before. It is its own unique signature energy, which is why I think it's so important to do this work, to continue to put out these forecasts, whether they come out the day before, the day of. It's important for me to do this and to just show you the beauty and the power in everyday things. Like I said, when was the last time that Mercury and Pluto conjuncted in Aquarius? You have to go back a while. Like a while, okay? Not a while, but a while, okay? If you know, you know. That moon, of course, in Sagittarius is going to make a trine over to Chiron. It's going to trine the North Node. It's going to sextile the South Node. It's going to quincunx over to Uranus today. Like I said, I think today is going to be one of those days where I will just be on the lookout for some type of broadcast, probably from a political figure or something like that, or somebody in the news or something that is going to attempt to sway you to believe something with your emotions too. In Sagittarius, going to try and sway you to believe in a certain narrative. And you have to ask yourself, you have to go within yourself. It's like, are you going to believe that thing? Now, I believe that whatever it is that comes out, I think that there's going to be some truth to it, but I don't think it's the whole truth though. And I think that is the important part of this. It's not the whole truth. It is a fabrication. It is a watering down, if you will, of the truth. Now, of course, we're going to see that moon continue throughout Sagittarius today, and it will almost square over to Neptune, pretty much at the end of the day, coming into Tuesday. That moon will square Neptune. So we have that building energy, if you will. And by the time that happens, Mercury will have moved off Pluto by a full degree no less, at 1 degree, 31 minutes, whereas Pluto is at 0 degrees, 31 minutes. And we would have clicked officially a degree past Pluto as far as the mental space goes with Mercury and Aquarius, which, yes, it's in an air sign now, but on top of Pluto, it definitely makes things pretty intense. And this is actually pretty interesting because Mercury is like one of the few people, Hermes was one of the few people that can actually go to the underworld where Pluto is and deliver messages from heaven. Mercury is one of the few that can do that, and especially being in Aquarius, it's definitely delivering a message. In fact, if I were to just pull up, let's see if I can just, let's see. Let's see. I can do like a 3D planet map or something. I know I've brought one up before for you guys. No, what is it? There it is. There he goes. Okay, cool. I think a day like today, it's important to kind of show you guys this actually. So, aha. Okay, cool. So, let me remove that, and then I'll present to you guys. Let's see. Boom. Okay. So, you can see here. Now, from the Earth's perspective, you can see that Mercury is conjuncting Pluto. And where is Pluto right now? Pluto is going down. Pluto is going down into this space, into the long part of its orbit, right? That's where Pluto is going. So Pluto is going down in many ways into the underworld where it rules. And who's going to go visit him? Who's the first planet to go visit Pluto on their trek down to the underworld before it hits that point? Right before it, like as it's in Aquarius, Mercury. Mercury's the first one to make that communication and that connection, right? Now, of course, from the sun's point of view to Pluto, Mercury hasn't quite conjuncted it yet, from the sun's point of view anyways. But it will probably in not that much time, actually. So we have until, I would say, let's see. Yeah, so it looks like pretty much, and I'm not really surprised by this at all, that is pretty much the 14th going into the 15th. So is when it'll happen from a solar perspective, where Mercury will cross over and conjunct Pluto from a solar perspective. But you can see, like I said, Pluto is going down, and you will see Pluto continue to go down in its orbit, and it's under all of the other planets. You see that? I'm just moving it forward so you can see where Pluto is heading to. It's heading into the underworld where it rules, right? You see how long of a transit this is going to be? You see how long this is going to be for Pluto to go all the way down here before it even reaches the tip? It can't even go any further. That's at 2100, and Pluto's all the way down there. So this is where we're heading to right now, just in general, right? And then shoot, at 2100, let's see exactly. I know I'm jumping, but I'm just trying to paint this picture for you guys. Bam. Bam. So you see Pluto will be all the way back in Taurus. He'll be back in Taurus. So you see, like Pluto when it's in Leo, Virgo, Scorpio, Libra, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. It moves faster those signs, but it slows down as it goes through Capricorn and Aquarius, and Pisces is even a longer transit. Aquarius is about 20, is going to be about 20 years. Pisces is about 24 to 25 years. So Pluto is going into the long part of its orbit around the sun. Like I said, it has this oblong shape, if you will. So just there's not going to be a lot of astrologers that talk about this sort of thing. And yeah, this is a further thing this is further in the distance, obviously, and stuff like that. A lot of us may not even be alive for when this actually occurs. But I'm just saying that this is the sort of energy that Pluto is going to start to bring. And these are the things that are going to start coming more and more into our conscious awareness of, this energy, if you will. So let me come back over here and let's just go ahead and hop right into the cards. So let's go ahead and hop right into the cards. There's not going to be a lot of astrologers that talk about that sort of thing. Now, a lot of astrologers are going to mention, people are going to be like, oh yeah, Mercury's in Aquarius now, so it means this, and Mercury's going to be on Pluto, so it means this. How many of them are going to be like, yeah, this hasn't happened in over 200 years. Yeah, this is the first of 3 major passes where you have Mercury first, then it's going to be Mars, and it's going to be Venus. How many people are saying that the Sun and Pluto conjuncted in Aquarius? And that's actually not true. So that means that we're going to have an entire year of personal planets that pass over Pluto and the moon, of course. And it's going to take an entire year for the sun to come back around and finally conjunct Pluto. And then it comes a little bit more, much more into view and much more into our conscious awareness. But right now, we have to navigate this in the dark still. It's a little bit of a light. It's a little bit. It's like we opened the doorway to it, but we're still in the dark. We're not going to really see the sun with Pluto until next year. Yeah, next year we'll see it, and it'll be at 1 degree. That'll be January, 21st of next year. That's when we will actually see this happen, is when the sun and Pluto finally conjunct actually in Aquarius for the first time in all of our lives. That's when we'll see it. But we don't get it this year. We won't get it this year. So just take all of that into consideration. And, like I said, this is kind of one of those moments where you kind of need to have a little bit of grace in yourself because, these are energies that no one has really been exposed to. Things have been intense electrical energies. If you're feeling interesting electrical, like pulses in different parts of your body, like your head and stuff like that, this is all Pluto coming into Aquarius with the sun there and Mercury now there. When Mars reaches this spot, when Mars reaches Pluto, and just a few days' time, it's not going to be long before Pluto reaches, or Mars reaches Pluto in Aquarius. I would not be surprised if people just start getting like crazy ass headaches and all these weird electrical impulses because Mars rules the head. So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta, pay attention to that. And the blood, it also rules like circulation and blood. That's what Mars also rules, right? So I would not be surprised if we see weird things when it comes to that. So like these are the things that not a lot of people are going to be talking about, especially here on YouTube. So I'm saying these are just the things just to be on the lookout for. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have some awesome opportunities that opens up with the sun sextiling over to Chiron today. But we have to recognize our own strength and our own power and realize that these higher cosmic principles, we can bring these in and we can integrate them, and we are a lot stronger than we give ourselves credit for. So, but what's happening here in many ways, I feel, is like all of our vessels are going through like major updates. Just like how you update your computer and stuff, your body goes through updates as well. The problem is that a lot of times we will suppress and not update it. It's like, you know how like your computer will be like, oh, you have an update waiting for you, and you just keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. This is the universe pretty much forcing us It's doing a force quit, because at some point your computer be like, all right, yeah, you put the update off long enough. It's time that I'm gonna force it now. This is the universe forcing us to finally update. It's finally forcing us to update, and that can cause some weird energies, some apprehensions, some anxieties, some weird bouts of depression. It can cause some weird things to come up, weird hormonal shifts. You know, one minute you're sad, and then the next minute you're like super happy, and then you're crying. It can cause all that weird stuff. So just be on the lookout for that, and know that we are all going through major updates. And even those of us who consciously go through the updates, whether it's through meditation or just working on ourselves through shadow work, even there are aspects that we haven't updated yet, and we are being forced to update right now. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but when we come out on the other side, it's going to be a lot better for us if we embrace and accept what the universe is wanting to bring, what God is trying to bring in, and the beautiful gifts that we have, because every day is a gift. Every day is a gift from God. So I have the Four of Wands. I see this as a committing to one's path. I love this card. Of course, it is a card of marriage, you can see, but they are committed to each other, and it is a time to celebrate. If you look at the thumbnail, of course, on this video, it shows an individual, and on one side, there's lush greenery and beautiful colors and flowers and a flowing waterfall. And on the other side, it's desolate. The plants and the vegetation are barren, they're dying, and they're decaying. And that's where we are. What side are you going to commit to? And this is going to be a week that really starts to determine that. Now, I think that we are given an infinite amount of opportunities to right the ship. No matter how far into the desolation we may go, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, no matter how far into the desolation that we go, we can always come back to abundance. We can always come back to God. We can always come back to source. But it may be harder to do that at different times and different intervals. There may be more thorns, and there may be more stuff that you have to go through, more challenges that you have to go through to come back to those places. But right now, we're being given, a great opportunity to really commit to ourselves, our spiritual path, and commit to God, and commit to righteousness, and to commit to the love that is in our heart, and expressing the love that's in our heart, and creating from that place. That's what we are committing to. We are committing to being our own best friend and being a friend of God. Because I think that's what God wants, for us to be his friend. And now it sounds weird, but that's just what I'm getting, because it's a funny trope in some animes, especially one of the animes that I really like, which is Fairy Tail, and it talks about the power of friendship and how they use the power of friendship to overcome even the most seemingly daunting enemies and the most hopeless situations. Is through the power of friendship that they're able to overcome. And it sounds corny and cheesy as hell, but if there's anything that Pluto and Aquarius is going to teach us, is that the power of friendship, of true companionship, is one of the most powerful forces in this universe. I have that followed by the Chariot card. I love that. Success can be yours when you move outside of your comfort zone and you embrace your destiny. That's what I get. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, it came out poetically, and that's what I got for you guys as far as that goes. Like, I can't even really add to that. I'm kind of at a loss of words. I'm not even gonna lie. That's the kind of day that it is. Kind of at a loss of words. Got the card of white. Lighten up. Lighten up. See that feather right there? Lighten up. Lighten up. Smile. Be happy. Let go. Drop the weight so you can fly and soar higher than you ever have soared before. Higher than you have ever flown before. It's time to lighten up. It's time to move forward. It's time to realize that it ain't over. It ain't over. We are here, and we are going to fucking win this battle. That is going to do it for your daily astrology forecast. I hope that you all enjoyed it. I hope that this assists you on your journey today. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful, marvelous Monday. I will see you all on the next astrology forecast. Peace.